Stem cells like this one. These cells taken from embryos can turn into any other kind of cells, like those that make up blood, nerves or muscle.
Heart muscle cells that could then be used to graft into a heart that has a defect in heart muscle, either through disease or injury. And that graft would be successful and the heart would recover.
If scientists can find out how to make these cells grow, then in future people like Christopher Reeve, who played Superman and is now paralysed, might regain movement from new working nerve cells. And the boxer Muhammad Ali, who suffers from Parkinson's disease, could be helped with new brain cells to replace those damaged by the disease. But it raises huge ethical questions, particularly for those who believe that human life begins at the point when an embryo is created.
We can't obtain a good by an evil means, and this is a very evil mean indeed. It involves the killing of human beings, and it unfortunately is as simple as that.
I think it is just unacceptable to say, because we have moral reservations about taking cells from embryos, you have to remain paralyzed, you have to remain immobile.
But apart from the ethical questions, this is still many years away. Scientists haven't yet discovered how to make the cells grow into different tissues to order. And they also don't know if using genetically different tissue on someone would be safe. Jo Andrews, ITN.
Time for us to take a break now.
Still to come on the Lunchtime News, good news at last for John Gravel, the man desperately seeking a bone marrow donor. We'll have the latest.
Announced the investment, which aims to put all schools, libraries, colleges and universities online within the next 3 years. These 10-year-olds at Trimdon Village School are already using the internet as part of what's called the National Grid for Learning.
How much interest does this computer room generate amongst the pupils?
It creates an awful lot of interest. The children love working on the computers and they'd work there all the time if they could.
The government says it wants most pupils to be computer literate by the time they leave school. But some educationalists are concerned that children without home computers will be disadvantaged.
For the children that can't afford the computers at home, this is ideal because it gives them access to the computers in the classroom. And so it means that they're not disadvantaged as a result of that. And otherwise, if they don't have them in the classroom and they don't have them at home, they don't get to learn the technology at all.
Teachers' unions have welcomed the initiative, but also say they're staggered at the amount of money being made available, especially when the government says it can't find extra cash for pay rises. Colin Baker, ITN, County Durham.
More of the day's news now, and first a horrific accident at a bonfire night celebration. An 11-year-old boy was engulfed by fire when a fuel drum exploded at an unsupervised bonfire at Law in Lanarkshire. Alan Spears is critically ill with 90% burns.
America's most famous astronaut, John Glenn, will touch down in Florida tomorrow afternoon after a 9-day mission. In a TV link-up, he said he wishes it could last another week.
And the creator of Batman, Bob Kane, has died at the age of 83. The comic book Caped Crusader first appeared in 1939 and went on to become an American icon.